stop Nikhil. We just passed through the first checkpoint leaving Athar, heading eastward on the highway towards Chinguetti, or Shinqit in Arabic. So the trip to Chinguetti, or Shinqit, is actually what inspired me to visit Mauritania. It's right at the hub of an ancient medieval Trans-Saharan trade route, which connected North Africa and the Middle East with Sub-Saharan Africa. And where there was trade in the Sahara, there was also development in terms of religion, commerce, government, and education. And that's really what made Chinguetti a hub and one of the most prosperous cities in the region. So both Mohammed and everyone in the vehicle right now is telling me that we're going to pass through this pretty dangerous road, traveling all the way up this mountain, and on the other side it just opens up to all these rocks below. So hopefully we'll make it, inshallah. Pray for us. Yes, pray for us. So it took a little while for us to get going from Athar, because it's actually a transport truck that's bringing a lot of water, produce, and other merchandise from the city in Athar out to Shinqit. And right now we're making a stop at a little nomadic settlement where they have tents set up, and bringing some products from the city of Athar out to their settlement out in the middle of the desert. It's really in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you can take it.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have it. So as a part of the nomadic hospitality, when people are passing by their tent settlements, the nomadic people will hand you a little bowl, and what you saw is it's like a milk drink made out of goat milk. I just had some. It's not sweet or salty, but it just tastes like a watery milk that's been almost made into like a lassi kind of form. It's not bad. It's called Zirig. It's really incredible how when you reach the Adrar plateau, you reach this flat land above, and it's all completely green. Definitely makes sense if you're a nomadic community that you'd want to stay here rather than the desert below. There's room for your animals to graze. It's a lot of green, the weather's cooler. You don't have to think about fans or AC or anything if you've just got a tent and you're in this cooler weather. This is not what I was expecting on my route to Shinqit. Just arrived in Chinguetti. The fare here was about 300 ugiya, which is about just under $10, maybe around $8. And it's incredible because the desert just pops out of nowhere. It's like the green pastoral land kind of ends, and now you just have sand dunes. Shinqit is kind of known as the port or gateway to the desert. A lot of people come here for desert dune activities as well, and the city consists of a new town as well as the ancient old town, which was really the hub of the Trans-Saharan trade. And just arrived at where I'm going to be staying here in Shinqit for the night. It's one of these little huts with an entrance right there with these cloth roofs. And there's one bed over here and one bed on this side. The actual location is really beautiful. There's some water, there's some palm trees outside. And right now we're just going to have lunch. And then there's somebody who's going to show me around the city for the afternoon and into the evening. Here I am in a hammock in the Saharan desert. I was actually just talking to the owner of this inn. His name is Abdul. And he has a really interesting project. By profession, he's a theater and dance music troupe performer. He's actually says he's quite popular and well known here on Mauritanian TV. And what's really interesting is that he has a voluntary program that he does out here with the nomadic people in the desert. And it's a program to create awareness on social issues such as what's known as lible, or force feeding of young women such that they look older and can be married off quicker. similarly related issues such as child marriage and the like. You might have heard of some of these in earlier documentaries. You might have seen about Mauritania. But he actually goes out into the desert for like 10 days at a time, works with these nomadic communities such that they can actually understand that these issues should be changed in a way that will actually stick for them. You know, it's one thing to drive public awareness through brochures or a lecture or just telling people that they have to do something, but he does it in a way that brings entertainment, that brings local oral traditions, as well as just fun to propagating this message. Hello everyone, it's about 2 p.m. in the afternoon right now. I'm with Sahbi al-Jadid, Salimu. He cooks actually at the auberge I'm staying at. He gave me this wonderful dara to wear. We both look so good in our dara. But right now, just take a look at how good we look. MashaAllah alayna. MashaAllah alayna. احنا بقينا كلنا موريتانيين. Just walking through the center of Shinqait right now. Right behind us is the souk. Everything's closed in the afternoon. People are probably resting after their lunch. Behind us you see some of the general buildings of the village, including the school and then a little clinic. Back there, there's another hospital as well that's much bigger on the other side of town. But we're making our way towards the old city, but it looks pretty quiet at the moment. You can see some people in front of us playing on a field, but yeah, it's pretty nice. So there's a so there's a meat, poultry, fish, chicken, all that shop coming up here, right here, because this is the butcher's area. Majzara is the word we're looking for. Salim was telling me that basically this whole empty space essentially acts as a drain. So when it rains a lot, this whole area is flooded. And so it's been left empty for that purpose. And it also acts as the dividing line between the new city on that side and the old city which we're visiting. But if you can imagine this whole area flooded with water to the point that you cannot cross it on foot, when right now there are cars driving across it. It's really interesting how that city is designed. I mean, if you could even imagine that much water here, that much rain in the middle of the desert, that's quite amazing. وفي أي شهر بيكون في مطر كتير هنا؟
ما بين الشهر السادس السابع التاسع آخر شهر.
So Salim was telling me that it's pretty much in the summer months, in like June, July, August, that you find a ton of rainfall here. This is the inside of the mosque of Shinqait. As you can see, it's really, really cool in here. You don't feel like the sun at all, and so people would use the prayer hall inside here when they're praying during the daytime, and it's obviously hot. And then when it's the morning prayers or Maghrib, as the sun is going down, then you can pray outside. It's amazing how these structures, they're all relating the same Islamic philosophy wherever they are, but they're so attuned to their local surroundings. Like in Tunisia, we saw all the Roman columns inside the mosques in Cairo or in Tunis, but here, look at them. They're all the earthen columns that look like all the other structures that you see here, and they're built to fit the desert climate. So Shinqait was another one of those places on the peripheries of Islam, again on the western side of Islam, where if people couldn't make it to Saudi Arabia for their Hajj, they might come here a couple times. They might just come here and say that they fulfilled their pilgrimage, because something is better than nothing. Even talking to a Salimu, he was saying that he hasn't been to Saudi Arabia yet, and he probably will not be able to, but Shinqait almost acts as a substitute for that. In the medieval times, it is really hard to describe how important Shinqait and its neighboring city, Wadan, were to the Trans-Saharan trade. That would mean that gold and minerals were going from this side of Africa, and salt was coming from the other side of Africa, and they would be traded because both were extremely precious and the other side of the continent did not have them. But alongside just commodities trading, that meant that there was trade in ideas, there was exchange in culture, and eventually that is what brought Arabian culture, the Arabs, the Arabic language, this whole Arabicization that you find in North Africa and even all the way into West Africa here in Mauritania. It's trade which accomplished all of that.
هناك هذه المكتبة مكتبة من أقدم المكتبات، هي 1699 1699 هي من أقدم المكتبات شنقيط، وتعود ملكيتها إلى أسرة أحمد محمود. المكتبة كباقي المكتبات فيها بعض العلوم، هي رياضيات، فلك، هندسة، في كل، لكن طبعا وشيء طبيعي ملاحظ أن الفن الديني هو المسيطر، الروحانيات والإسلاميات مسيطرة. لماذا؟ لأن شنقيط هي البلد السابع مدن الإسلام السنة حسب الروايات عندي، وبإضافة إلى المدينة، مكة، القدس والقاهرة، الأربعة ما فيه مشكلة. المركز الخامس والسادس لدي هو به نقاش في ربما ذلك وربما، لكن المركز السابع كما كان المركز الأربعة أكثر الروايات تقول بأنه شنقيط. شنقيط هذه أيضا هي بلد رمز. لماذا؟ لأنه إلى 25 سبتمبر 1899 1899 إلى هذا التاريخ كل الدولة كانت تسمى بلاد شنقيط. اسم موريتاني اسم مستعار جديد أتى به فرنسي يسمى كوبولاني لهذا البلد. ولذلك لا زال كثير من المسلمين العرب خارج موريتانيا لا يعرفون اسم موريتانيا، ما زالوا يتذكرون فقط الاسم القديم بلاد شنقيط، وهذا شيء طبيعي. شنقيط مدينة دينية، مدينة رمز، لكنها مدينة قوافل تجارية. القوافل الجمال كانت تمر هنا بكثرة، فيه شكلين من القوافل، التجارية أو الحجيج. كانت فيه أشياء تصدر تخرج من شنقيط وأخرى تأتي. بالنسبة للأشياء تصدر كان هناك التمور، كان هناك الصمغ العربي، كان هناك الملح. الأشياء الثلاثة كانت تصدر من شنقيط، ومقابلها كنا نستورد من مالي والسنغال كل ما نأكل، فجميع الحبوب جميع البقول كانت تأتي من هذين البلدين. أما بقية التجارة فكانت تأتي من بوابتنا على الغرب وهي الجزائر والمغرب. هذه كلها كانت عبارة عن مقايضات ليس فيها فضة. فالشخص الصحراوي أولا تعلم بالمقايضات قبل أن يتجه إلى النقود. النقود جاءت بعد ذلك. إيه فيها كل يوم البنت الصغيرة 5 سنوات تعطى لها، يقترح عليها 8 لترات من اللبن مع الكسكس، وهي يجب عليها أن تشرب وتأكل كلها، فإذا رفض فإنها تقرص بالمقراص حتى تتألم وتشرب كله، فهذا يعطيها السمنة. الجميع سوف يعتبرهم أغنياء، وحتى لم يكونوا كذلك. عند مجرد كل بنت سمنة هذه أغنياء لا شك، هذا الغنى هو أول شيء. المسألة الثانية الجمال، كلما كانت البنت سمينة يعتقد بأنها أصبحت أجمل. المسألة الثالثة هي الفخامة، رجل الأسرة كبير شيخ القبيلة يجب أن يكون لديه بنت سمينة، ليست بنت صغيرة تقفز هنا وهناك، بنت ذات وزن. فكنا نعتقد بأن بنتا سمينة لا يوجد أي جمل أن يسرقها بسهولة، فهي تبقى محصونة محضونة دون فلاش لا يوجد.
وهذا أي نوع من النص يعني؟
أدعية، صلوات أدعية.
Okay, so that's a book. It contains like prayers. That's pretty much it.
هذا القرن الثالث عشر وهذا الثامن عشر.
That's 18th century inspirators.
هناك كتاب رابع، كتاب الثالث في الفلك تنجيم، أسترولوجي.
حلو.
هذه سرطان ميزان، هناك أسترولوجي. المسلمين العرب كانوا يعلمون بأن الأرض كروية تدور. هذا أسترولوجي فلك تنجيم، وهنا فلك. هذا المسلمين العرب كانوا يعلمون بأن الأرض كروية تدور حول نفسها قبل كوبرنيك، قبل غاليلي، قبل الجماعة كلها. في القواعد بالنحو العربي.
So that's an Arabic grammar book.
This is the original one.
This ده الأصلي.
طبعا القرن الخامس عشر.
From the 15th century.
أما الآن فسوف أريكم الكتاب الأخير من الكتب التي يستطيع أن نمسها. أي في كتب كثيرة لكن لا نستطيع أن نمسها كلها. هذا كتاب في الأدب.
That's a literature book.
الأدب. السؤال الأول يتبادر إلى ذهن الجميع: لماذا الألوان تختلف هنا؟
So you're probably going to ask the question why there are different colors here.
لماذا؟ لأن الاختلاف عبارة أيضا عن خلاف الشعراء. كلما بدلنا الشاعر نبدل اللون. شاعر لونه نكتب واحد نجيب لون آخر. عبارة عن مساجلات شعرية، حوار شعري، ربما يكون أقدم شات ماسنجر واتساب ميبي، ربما. جبال 5 سنوات من السفر نرجع إلى نقطة البداية لأن الأرض كروية. هذا جغرافي طبعا.
Yeah. So he gave an example of how geography could be taught with poetry. Basically saying like, oh yeah, if you go straight, like after like 5 years, you'll eventually reach the same place where you were. Like as a way to teach that the earth is round.
Okay.
You know? Just like different ways to teach things.
آخر مقطع هو مقطع عن الغرام وعن الحب، شاعر عن طرف بن شداد معروف في الجاهلية قبل الإسلام. ولقد ذكرتك والرماح نواهل مني وبيض الهند تقطر من دمي، فوددت تقبيل السيوف لأنها لمعت كبارق ثغرك المتبسمين. هذا شاعر.
مش ممكن أترجم.
أنا سأعطيك ملخص تقوله.
This is so incredible. We're being shown around this medieval library by the caretaker, and he's a legend. He knows how to present everything about the history and the literature and everything about Shinqit. We're just walking around looking at the different texts here. As he said, that there is literally something about everything here, and this is all a private family owned library. So just imagine how many of these libraries would have been here when Shinqit was actually a thriving city. Here we have a new book, الاستعمارية الفرنسية في موريتانيا تجديد, and then let's see, بنين المصادق. But it was so interesting that he told that, you know, poetry is so important to the Arabs and the Muslims because it's a way to learn anything, not just like sentimental love kind of stuff, but even geography through rhythm and style in a manner that humans can easily retain it. And just being so in tune with that is quite incredible.
وكلما تقدم الزمن كان في زحف رمال. الرمال زحفت على المدينة الأولى فانتهت. كلما زحف الرمال كان في جفاف، كان في يتغير طبعا المناخ، يتغير الجو، يتغير، وحتى أن السكان يهاجرون للعمل ولطلب المعيشة. هذا كان وإلى حد إلى بعد عام قريب كانت في هجرة جماعية من شنقيط نتيجة قلة المياه، نتيجة التصحر، والتمدرس أيضا كانت ما فيه إعدادية ولا ما فيه ثانوية، لكن بنيت ثانوية هنا وأصبح الناس أكثر استقرار. أيضا الطريق أصبحت كانت صعيبة لكن الآن أصبحت أكثر سهولة. إذن في حياتي لاحظت أولا ازدهار، ما جاء بعد ذلك انحطاط، وهذه السنة نحن نأمل كثير لأن جاء كثير من المطر في هذه السنة، وهناك أمل كبير بأن شنقيط ربما تعود إلى عهدها السابق. العقليات تتحول مع تحول الزمن، هذا شيء طبيعي. إذا بالنسبة الآن نحن أقل خوفا وأقل حذرا، لأننا عندما نشهد تهاطلات المطرية ونشهد وخصوصا السياحة، ازدهار السياحة، هذا شيء يدل على أنه في مستقبل واعد لشنقيط. فشنقيط كانت مجهولة وأصبحت معروفة بوسائل الإعلام، وأصبح يأتي كثير من السواح من الدول، ومع الأسف كثير من الدول الإسلامية العربية. من الدول الإسلامية العربية مقصرين في هذه الناحية، يبحثون عن العكس عن الدول الأوروبية. الأوروبيين يأتوا إلينا، أما نحن المسلمين العرب هم يبحثون عن الدول الأوروبية ويفضلون السياحة الأوروبية، وهذا شيء طبعا ليس جيد.
We visited the first incredible library and then checked out another museum just nearby, which was displaying a lot of the traditional items that one might be using around in the residences here. And there's literally history on every corner. There's one thing that the Ustaz said at the library, and it was that it's really unfortunate that people from the Arab countries or Muslim countries all want to visit Europe, but it's all the Europeans, or like me, people from the US, coming to visit Chinguetti. People not appreciating their own part in the human heritage. And he did tell me that the libraries here represent shared, common human history and heritage. Everyone is welcome, whether you're Muslim, whether you're not. But people just need to come to appreciate what was here. So we're just leaving the old city, walking past across the whole sand dunes area here. I still can't imagine what it would be like if it was all flooded with water. But Salamu is much better at walking in the sand than I am. بقول إنك عندك خبرة في المشي في الرمل وأنا ما عنديش. And there's apparently a nice spot to watch the sunset. Now, if you are wondering why I'm completely out of breath, one, I'm walking through this like sand, which I don't know how to do that. Two, you literally open up your mouth here. As I've said before, it goes dry, the dryness of the desert. But I'm here with Ahmed. He's going to be taking me to that spot. Should be nice. So incredible. Just imagine you're out in the medieval era, traveling in a caravan across this desert. You start somewhere in Egypt, or perhaps even the Arabian Peninsula, and you keep going until you cross Mauritania. Might even hit Nouakchott and finally see the ocean. The dunes just keep going and going and going here. Still walking through this desert. I'm not exactly sure exactly where I'm being led, but I mean, it can't be bad. I think we're supposed to be checking out sunset somewhere, but you know, I feel so freeing in this that just like letting the breeze flow through the cloth. Almost feels like you're flying through the sand here, and its whole expanse is just literally sand dotted by the green bushes. I don't see people anywhere. There are a ton of like tire tracks here, so obviously cars go zooming past this area, but nobody else is walking around. I don't know why people would randomly situate themselves all the way out here. But let's see what's up. So I finally asked Ahmed where exactly we're going. He pointed out to like a really far away, it's almost like a little lighthouse, like minaret, way out into the distance. And I'm like, I have to like strain my eyes to go find it. But I do see it, and it's, yeah, a bit farther away than I expected, but yeah, Ahmed said it's a riyadha. Yeah, I did definitely need the riyadha, which is just like exercise after drinking all the tea and just eating and relaxing and laying down in Atar. The riyadha is great, and walking through the sand means extra riyadha. I'll let you know when I get there. It's about 40 minutes later maybe, or it just feels like that with the time. We're almost there to the Manara over there. I don't even know what's happening. Also, the weather is so strange. The clouds have really darkened right now as if it's gonna rain, and I can feel every now and then a little trickle of rain coming down. Especially right now, it is definitely sprinkling a little bit, which is not at all what I was going to be expecting. These clouds are so dark. So I'm not sure what the structure is originally meant to be, but it's here as a little watchtower. I guess perhaps that's exactly what it is, as a defensive watchtower. Just as we reach it, we're getting both the sunshine as the sun goes down, as well as rain, overlooking all of these sand dunes. Climbing up here. It's not that bad. I had to empty out all the sand from my shoes. Can't be many more stories here. Yep. Right here. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a defensive guard post. You can get a view of the desert from all directions from up here. I mean, right now there isn't much to see, but if you were to imagine during the medieval trade era, when this was one of the must-stop spots on the Trans-Saharan trade route, there was no other choice but to stop here, because one of the largest oases in the area was here in Shinqeit. So it would be a melting pot of cultures, of traditions, of people from different places, people who look different, speak differently, all coming here and depositing their knowledge, their traditions, their cultures here. It's amazing to think of what that must have been like. Yeah. Look at it like there. Incredible. Imagine being up here, waiting for someone to come attack from the desert. Incredible. Right now it's a sleepy, small town, which has so many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but no one really visits. Nothing is forever. So I didn't have any planned hiking on this trip, but here I am basically doing a hike. It's been maybe like an hour and a half walking through the desert, and I'll tell you, the worst feeling is just feeling all the sand fill up in my boots as I walk, and your shoes just feel like they're getting tighter and tighter around your feet. Okay, that's gonna be another one of my mundane tips. If you're coming to Mauritania, expect to wear your flip-flops a bit more than you expected. Not just for the shower, not just for the bathroom or for lazing around at home. If you think you're gonna be in sand, just take your flip-flops. So we made it up the sand dunes on foot. Well, of course, everyone else came here in a car and was dropped off. But yeah, thank you, Ahmed. Shukran, ya Ahmed. He helped me get up here. Of course, he was saying it was easy for him to walk. Yeah, it's gorgeous up here. And the temperature is just perfect. It's that type of weather where you don't feel any weather. And that's exactly what you want. It doesn't feel cold or hot. Just the breeze. And you just have a bunch of nothingness around you. It's the word in Arabic, hadi'a. It's just completely tranquil. Hoping this will be fun to watch later on, because it's not that fun right now walking down these sand dunes. Obviously a skill I do not have. I mean, I guess it would be fun if we just had a board and just slid down. Probably a bit quicker too, and less funny than watching me do this. But okay, I think we made it. Okay, got another steep drop here, but look at it. It's like the sand is literally moving as if it's like liquid right here. And I'm just going around with it, basically sinking in. It's gonna cover my shoes. You might have to empty out my shoes again of all the sand, but that was quite an experience. Never seen sand literally flow like it's water. Well, good morning everyone. It's November 15th. I've officially been traveling for half a month right now, and getting ready to leave Shinqit. Everyone here has been so amazing, so hospitable, so humble, so gracious with their time and effort to show me around, so respectful. And just as I'm getting ready to leave to head back to Athar, we're getting a little drizzling rain here, so maybe it's a good omen for my trip, rain in the desert. And overall, I hope you all really enjoyed this episode of Nonstop Nikhil. I hope you learned something. I hope you realize that Mauritania is a place that you can visit. It's accessible, and there are people waiting here to welcome you, to teach you about the shared human history which exists here, but has been forgotten over time. With that, I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next episode.